Okay, so good evening and welcome to our event tonight. I'm Marlena Jones and I'm a representative with the Juice Plus Company. Almost every night of the week, all over the globe, our company sponsors public events just like this one, as we inspire healthy living all around the world. Now, before we get started, I'm going to give you a little Zoom tutorial. To see our featured speaker, if you are on a laptop or a computer, click the icon that says Speaker's View. In the upper right, it might be in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, but wherever it is on your screen, you can click that and you can see the speaker. If you're zooming in on a cell phone, you don't need to do this. Also, a little Zoom etiquette. Please do not move around unnecessarily. It can become distracting to others on the call. And you can see us, but we can also see you. So please make sure your microphone is muted at all times. And please note that technology is not perfect. So if you click, it should then have a slanted red line through it, and that is what indicates that you're muted. So without further ado, we're going to get started. So I think Dale or Ro, have you muted everyone except for me? And okay, great. Okay, so we're having some other technical issues tonight. So our introduction of our featured speaker will be just a little bit abbreviated, but she'll tell you a little bit more about herself. So Stacey Whitmer was born and raised on Long Island, New York. She received a full scholarship to the University of Maryland in gymnastics. She went to the University of Maryland, and there she met her husband, who was also involved in athletics there. And once she graduated from the University of Maryland, she got into corporate America. And she held a nice corporate position for 11 years before she was introduced to Juice Plus. And that's when things changed. So I'm just going to hand it over to Stacey at this point and let her give you that story.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much, Ro, for inviting me to share a little bit about who I am, how I got to this point, how I literally went from suit to slippers, which is my favorite title ever. So like Marlene just said, I'm Stacey Whitmer. I am a national marketing director with the Juice Plus Company. I've been doing this for about 3 years, a little over 3 years. And this journey has been hands down one of the most incredible journeys of my entire life. It's been a real pleasure. So just to kind of piggyback off of what Marlene had said, I got a full scholarship to University of Maryland as a gymnast. So I was an athlete. I was an All-American gymnast. I was team captain my senior year. I thought as an athlete I knew what nutrition was, but I really didn't. I thought I was 9% body fat. Okay, I was in a leotard every day. I thought that exercise meant healthy. It didn't, and it doesn't. There is a strong relationship with exercise and nutrition, and that was something I was unaware of as an athlete. I met my husband at the University of Maryland, where he was on a full scholarship for football and baseball, and he was the same way, and so was the rest of their team. They ate so many calories of just food, not the right food, just food, just to keep up their calories, but it wasn't always the best thing for them, because I can count on 2 different hands the amount of times that that these kids, these young adults in college, had injuries, severe injuries, were sick during games. I mean, I remember 2 of my biggest competitions of my entire career. My junior year in high school, my junior and senior year in college, I had 104 temperature. I was as sick as a dog. And now I understand why, but then I just thought I was sick. It really was my body breaking down because I wasn't flooding it with the right stuff. But now I know better, so I can raise my children better. And I hope that I give you some tips so that you can understand that, you know, life can be different than what you expect it to be. As of right now, there can be change ahead. It's worth kind of experimenting and figuring out what that looks like for you. So I was a biology and kinesiology major. I love science. I love research. I'm a little bit of a nerd when it comes to that stuff. And out of college, I was going to go to become a physician's assistant. So I was going to go back to school, but I initially didn't want to go back to school right away. So I thought, let me get a job and let's see how this goes. And I interviewed with a tremendous corporate company. I'm 23 years old. I got a very significant corporate job where I was in a fancy suit every single day with fancy shoes and my fancy car. Like, I just had this significant income. I was young and I thought, well, I've done it. This is what I'm supposed to do, right? I'm supposed to get this career after I graduated college. So I figured this was it. I'm good. This is how my life was going to be forever. Little did I know there was anything outside of corporate America. I truly, truly didn't even know that a life outside of 9 to 5 or 7 to 7, some of the days that I was working, I truly didn't know that there was life outside of that corporate career. And understand that I was fine with that career. I felt fancy. You know, I was young and I had a great income. However, when I had my children, everything changed. And I think that a lot of people, it takes a moment. It takes one specific thing that really kind of changes the game for people when they actually think, wait a minute, I want to make a difference here. There's something has to change. And for me, when I had my firstborn, I have two boys right now. I have a 6 and an 8-year-old. And when I had my first, his name is DJ, I was so smitten and so in love with this baby. And I just got chills thinking about it, having to walk out of my house every single day to leave him with a nanny was heartbreaking. Understand that when I was raising my children, about 6 years out of 11, I was doing this as a now full-time working mommy that was leaving her house every day. I was paying my nanny more than my mortgage to raise my children. And I hated it. And I was doing it because it was a tremendous income. Now, my husband is a teacher and a coach on Long Island, where we currently live. But I had a tremendous income, and it was, you know, I was the substantial income. You know, I was a bigger piece. So I can't walk away. You can't just leave. Where am I going? I had no idea of where I would go or what I would do. So when my oldest was a baby, he was 4 months old, and I brought him to the doctor, and the doctor said, okay, now you can introduce food. So I gave him rice cereal for the very first time. And do you know that an hour after I gave him that rice cereal, his body reacted to it? He was vomiting so profusely at that point that he almost went into shock and we almost lost him. That he had an allergy called FPIES, food protein-induced enterocolitis syndrome. What it meant is that his body, at that little baby age, did not produce a protein to break down wheat, rice, oat, grain, nothing. So again, those moments that kind of hit you and think, man, something's got to change. I completely changed our lives with food because we had to. It was life or death. My kid was sick. He was a baby and he was sick. So we had to change our lives with food. He couldn't eat anything. I had to make everything from scratch. I got a really cute apron from Pottery Barn. I had my name embroidered on it. And I was like, I am going to cook. I am going to learn how to cook and I'm going to love it. And I did. I learned how to cook. I make everything from scratch. I still make everything from scratch and I love it. And it's really, really, it was really eye-opening to my husband and I watching that transformation of our health with food. So now we've made all of these drastic changes in our lives with eating whole foods. And the funny thing is, what I was doing in my corporate career was the absolute opposite of holistic living. And I was really, really tied. I was living a holistic lifestyle at this point, but doing something that I didn't believe in anymore because I felt it was fake. I was forced. You know, I was doing my job is what I was doing. I was trading hours for dollars. And I'm sure you've heard that before, but man, that is exactly what I was doing because I thought this was the only thing I could ever do. I did not know that anything outside of that world existed. I just assumed this was my forever. I was going to have to be uncomfortable and I was going to have to push through it because it was an income that I needed to have, that my family needed to have. So here's where, you know, life is so incredible and experiences make such a difference. 11 years into this career, about 7 out of 11 years, I was like top 5 in the country. I did a very, very good job for this company because I could kind of shut off my emotions and just work. Okay. Not happy, not comfortable, very unsettled, very uncomfortable every day, but I could just work through it. So no matter what corporate company you're with, no matter who you are a number. It doesn't matter how good you are a number. In October of 2014, my number was called. Because when you are a big corporation, they could fill 3 people's spots with one salary that I was making, you know? So you're a number. There is no emotion. There is no attachment to you. They don't care who you are, how many kids you have, what your situation is. You are a number in a corporate world, and that is just the way it is. Because as I was there for 11 years, I went through 6 other downsizings where I watched my friends, I watched their numbers get called. And it's so cold. And I knew going into this day, I knew going into that day that there was big change ahead for me. I had such an amazing feeling over that last kind of year. And it was this feeling of something great is coming. I don't know what it is, but sit tight. It's going to be spectacular. And I just couldn't wait to figure out what it was because I had no clue what God had in store for me. I had no idea. So on this day, it was October 21st, 2014, and I'm going to tell you why I know that date. I get this phone call. So this is what happens. They call you on the phone. I'm going to call you from between 9:30 and 9:37. I'm like, okay. So I had dropped my youngest off at preschool, and I get the phone call. I pulled over into a Dunkin' Donuts parking lot, and they said, "Hi, Stacey, this is so-and-so from HR. I'm sorry, but your position has been downsized." And I must have giggled because the woman on the other side of the phone said, "Did you just giggle?" And I thought, did I just giggle out loud? I don't think I realized that I literally laughed out loud because I felt free. I truly felt like, and again, I got chills all up and down my arms, because I will never forget that moment. I remembered thinking like I had this backpack of 1,000,000 pounds on my back. I literally just dropped it to the floor and I was free because I knew that something was coming. And I knew that I was never going to leave my house again in a fancy suit, in my fancy shoes ever again. I knew that I was going to figure out a way to be home with my kids because that's where I wanted to be. That's where I was called to be. And I didn't know another way to make it. I didn't know that there was an option to make it work any other way but this job that I had. So that was a Wednesday that I got that phone call. That Sunday I'm at church and our pastor is talking about open doors. You know, God opens up doors all the time for us, every day, all day. And a lot of times we're so busy that we don't see them. That we miss it. We miss these open opportunities and these open doors because maybe we're scrolling through Facebook or we're on the phone or we're running around from here to there and we miss it. And I remember praying that night when I went to bed and I thought, listen, God, this door that you're about to open for me, please put bells on it and maybe flashing lights. you know, maybe make it like a double wide or put music. I need something because I don't want to miss what's coming, because I felt in my gut, in my bones, that something spectacular was coming. So now that was a Sunday. I get a text message from a friend on a Tuesday, and she knew how into healthy living and healthy lifestyle and food and nutrition and meal workshops and all these things. She knew how much I loved this. So she sent me a text and said, hey, Stace, I'm having this healthy living wine and wellness party at my house on Friday. This is something that you really need to hear about. I think you're going to love it. So on Friday, I went to her house at this wine and wellness event, and I learned about Juice Plus. I learned about the product. I learned about the business. And because my son had this horrendous allergy, I had to research everything before I was going to put anything in his body, in our bodies. So coming from a research background, coming from the job that I had, I thought, I need to see research. It's just fruits and vegetables in a gummy or a capsule. I don't get it. I need to understand this more. So I looked it up online and I dove into the research. So for me, I'm not looking online at someone else's opinion. I don't want to see what anybody else has to say. I want to see the research, right? What is going to tell me that this is being absorbed and being used by our bodies to help ourselves, to help on a cellular level? What is going to tell me that? Not someone's opinion, right? It's the research. So I literally spent, I'll never forget this, 3 whole days reading every single research article that was put on our Juice Plus website. And I remember thinking, I was very impressed. I could not believe the value and the efficacy of our research. I could not believe the integrity of the research. I was blown away by the power of what fruits and vegetables could do in our body. And I said, sign me up. I need to give this to my family. So I started my family on it. And as I started my family on it, for about 2 weeks, I was researching the business while we started the product. I remember calling the company. I talked to someone in distributor support. I had a lot of questions because I wanted to know, can I do this? Is this something that I could put my heart and soul into and make my forever career? And after the research that I did on this business, I was locked in. I believed in it from really day one. It just made sense. The product made sense. The business made sense. So it was at that point that I said yes to this business. And October 21st of 2017 is when I walked the stage as a brand new national marketing director. And the reason I said that date is because 3 years ago to the day is literally when I got that phone call when they said, I'm sorry, your position was downsized. I knew something spectacular was coming, but I have to tell you guys, never in my dreams did I think that this incredible company and this incredible product was going to be my forever. I didn't know that something of this magnitude existed, because I will tell you, if you are not happy with what you are doing, there is an option for you. And if you are in the middle of it and maybe it's hard, plant your feet and be proud of what you get to share in this product, because it can happen. You got to put in the work, but you can build something spectacular. So now that fancy suit and those fancy shoes that I used to walk around in every single day, I haven't put on that suit, any of those suits, in 3.5 years. Because now I literally live in my yoga pants and a cute Juice Plus tank top and my slippers, because I can. Because there is life outside of what maybe we think is traditional work. There is options out there. And this is the best of everything. It's an incredible product you get to stand behind. It's an incredible company that literally locks arms with you to help you every step of the way to make sure that you're successful, whatever that looks like for you. But if I call this my career 2.0, if you're in your career 1.0 and you just aren't settled, you got to jump at some point, and it's worth it. It's a worth it jump. It's been one of the most incredible journeys of my life. And I could not be more grateful for that woman who said to me, hey, would you come to my event? because I know this is something you're going to love. Because let me tell you, that one text message and that one event changed my life and my family's financial future and the health of my family forever. So how many conversations have you had? I'm sorry, how many conversations have you not had because you're worried maybe what the person's going to think on the other side? How many conversations have you kind of hesitated to have because you're not sure about what the outcome's going to be? Take the outcome out of it. It's important that you ask. It's important that someone that you reach out to someone that you care about and say, hey, there's something I want to talk to you about. Because if that person never asked me, I would never have known that this existed, and maybe I would still be stuck in that job that I was in. So I'm grateful every day that someone was bold enough to reach out, and I am beyond grateful every day that this is what I get to do for a living. So thank you so much for allowing me to kind of share a little bit of my story and a little bit of my heart. Man, we are in the right place at the right time, and I couldn't be more excited about it.
Oh, thank you so much, Stacey, for speaking on our call tonight. I've learned so much, and you're such an inspirational woman. So grateful and honored to have you join us.
Thank you so much.
Let me tell you about myself. My name is Ro Melnikov, and I'm a National Marketing Director for the Juice Plus Company. I'm formerly an elementary teacher and an adjunct college professor. I resigned teaching to join this phenomenal company in their mission to inspire healthy living over 23 years ago. Why, you might say, would I leave my tenure, my pension, a nice salary behind, not as big as Stacey's, to join a marketing company when I had no experience in marketing? Well, my story began in a hospital bed. The doctors were trying to figure out how to use gravity to assist in getting the water out of my legs without having to lie me down, because it would result in excruciating pain from the pleurisy in my chest. You see, my kidneys were failing secondary to the systemic lupus, which I was diagnosed with when I was 22 in college. I suffered with arthritis, liver involvement, bowel problems, 2 kidney failures, and I was always tired, achy, and lethargic. I took tons of medicines and vitamins to no avail. I changed my diet, but I still had flares. The side effects of the over-the-counter and prescription medications were torture in and of themselves. I was administered these drugs, I was told by my MD, to avoid me going on dialysis. If they did not work, that was my next step. To add more insult to injury, my former husband of 13 years said to me, "You're too sick for me to stay with you. I want a divorce." We divorced in 1989. It took 3.5 months of me detoxing from the medications with the Juice Plus for me to notice a difference in my health. As I continuously got better, my doctor weaned me off the medications. Juice Plus lowered the inflammation in my body. It contributed to a healthier immune system. It improved my hair and skin and gave me so many health benefits. I also started to crave more fruits and veggies, which is a good thing. I now have been symptom-free with energy and vitality with no medications for 20 plus years. I also might add, I married my divorce attorney, and we have 2 healthy young men, Tyler, 24, and Dustin, 19. So today at 61, I'm healthier than I was in my 20s. My team and I have helped people with various health challenges, elite athletes and people that want to stay on the side of prevention. What attracted me to the business was its simplicity and flexibility. I was able to go on all my kids' class trips, attend all their athletic events, and be there for them. There is no greater freedom than being able to do the things we love with the ones we love. That's what the Juice Plus company can offer you. My team and I essentially share Juice Plus and our business with others on calls and videos like this, one-on-one, and through live educational calls, educational events, shall I say. I more than replaced my income from teaching kindergarten and college. I receive our corporate package, so does Stacey, that is comparable to many CEOs in big businesses. Nothing like I would ever receive as a teacher. I never even received a turkey as a teacher. Our business is for people that want to be able to help people while helping themselves. Our business is for people with full-time jobs, to moms that have full-time jobs taking care of their kids. It's for moms that are staying home with their kids as well. People do our business for various reasons. Perhaps to contribute to the household, to make a car payment, or put a child through school. For some like Stacey and I, this has become our full-time mission. At this time, I would like to share with you our next call. Let me see if I can get it. I'm going to share my screen. This is going to happen on June 14th. We are going to have a teacher's call. We're going to be inviting teachers to share with them why they joined our business. So if you'd like to invite people to come back to this event, mark June 14th. We will put it up on Facebook tomorrow. But remember, you do not have to be on Facebook to join our call. So let me stop the share there. And I just want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. And like Stacey said, go back and have that conversation with the person that invited you to the call tonight, because there are many options. I never saw myself, Stacey never saw herself doing a business like this, and yet look what it's brought us. So with that, I'll say good night. Thank you for joining us. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank
you.
you. That was really inspiring.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Stacey.
Thank you. Nice
Thank
to meet
you.
guys.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night. Thank you, Rose. Thank you, Stacey.